Hey, hello friends. Welcome to my channel SAP SD and ABAP League Support. So one of our subscriber requested to publish one video about FMs, BAPI and RFC functional models. I have already published one video relevant to BAPI. You can check out that. Today we'll discuss about mainly about the difference between FM and RFC FM and RFC FM versus BAPI. Let's get started. First of all, let's see the difference between RFC and normal FM. Okay, if I open any of the FM, for example, MERC single underscore read. This is that one of the functional model available to read the MERC data of the material and plant combination. Let me open this functional model, and the transaction code to access this function model is that SE37. Remember this SE37. Okay, and here if I click this attributes tab, we can see here it's a regular function model, right? If it is an RFC enabled function model, then in that function model we see this radio button has been enabled, that is remote enabled model. That means RFC function model. This is one of the difference between normal function model versus RFC enabled function model. Okay, let me note down the difference now. Okay, the processing type should be normal or regular. In case of normal function model, I am coming to RFC function model, it is a remote enabled FM. This is the radio button will be enabled in case of FM and RFC FM. And the second difference is that in the importing tab, you see there is one column pass by value. So normal function model can accept both kind of value, pass by value or pass by reference. And coming to remote enabled function model, it will accept only the pass by value only. Pass by reference is not acceptable. Okay, both pass by value and pass by reference allowed. Only pass by value. And if we want to call that remote enabled function model, okay, then we should use that extra parameter called destination. Okay, if I want to call the function model which is RFC enabled, then I should specify the destination in which system I need to access this remote enabled function model. That I need to specify here. In case of normal FM, it's not required. So let me show you some examples for that. If I go to that SC16N, let me open. Okay, let me open the standard program report like RV. Okay, let me open that VF04 program SD bill del. This is a program for a report for VF04 transaction code. Okay, let me display this. Okay, let me search for call function. Okay, you see here. So we need to call that function model like this call function. If I double click this one vkdfs underscore alv underscore display, I can see that it will direct to the SC37 screen. If you double click on the SC38 function model, it will direct to the SC37 only, right? So let's see this one also, a regular function model. Okay, and we see how we are calling here, call function VKDFS ALV display. This is the way of calling the normal function model. And coming to the RFC enabled function model, we should add one variable here, destination, after this function model name. We should add the destination here for the RFC enabled function model. I don't have any example with me to show that RFC enabled function model, right? But this is how it will work. Okay, and let me mention that destination is not required. And the next important thing is that normal FM can be accessed only in the system, only in the same system. Okay, for example, there is one more system called Java, which works based on Java, and one more system works based on Visual Basic VB, right? And if you want to access the data or function model in SAP system from Java to SAP or VB to SAP, that time we can't use this normal function model. This function model allowed or accessible only inside the system only, same system only. We can't access this function model from outside other system, right? But this can be accessed from other system like VB, Java, etc. So these are the main advantages. Advantages means difference between function models, normal and RFC enabled function models. Okay, then why should we use the function model? What is the benefit of the function model? Okay, for example, let me give you an example. So this function model is there, MARC underscore single underscore read. The intention of this function model is to retrieve the data from the database table from MARC. For that, we need to pass the material and plant combination, right? So let me open source code for this. It's loading. Okay, let me open the source code. So here in that screen, we see different tabs are there: attributes, import, export, changing, tables, exceptions, source code. And the attributes, we can see that nature of that function model, what kind of function model it is: regular, remote, enabled, update. In update also we have different options like v1, v2, right? And who created this one, and when was last change happened. So many things we can see here in the attributes tab. So import tab means the data, input data basically, right? It's input data. In the import section we see the input data. And export means we are going to export some data to the calling program. Okay, and changing is changing parameters. The tables, we can update some database, I mean internal tables, okay, with help of this function model. Exceptions, so if you want to raise any errors like no data identified, it's wrong data, something that can be mentioned in the exceptions tab. And the source code, we see the actual code of this function model, source code. So here if you see what we are doing, we are getting the data. So it is calling some other function models inside this function model and retrieving some data. So instead of writing all this code in our program, okay, instead of writing all this program again and again, it's time consuming, right? To avoid that, there is a concept of function models. We can write some code and save this aside. Whenever we need it, we can simply call this function model. No need to write the entire code inside the function model from in our program. We can simply call this function model and then use it. It's a reusability basically, flexible reusability, and in case of any kind of issues, we can simply do the amendment or modification to this function model. It's more convenient compared to subroutines. Okay, yeah, this is the difference between FM and RFC enabled FM. Now let's see the difference between RFC FM versus BAPI. Okay, so now we understood what is RFC enabled function model. And coming to BAPI, as I said earlier, I already published one video about BAPI. Anyways, I will try to share the link for that video in the description. You can check out that. But we will see the basic difference between RFC, FM, and BAPI. Okay, let me open one BAPI. BAPI PO underscore change. Let me display it. Sorry, it's taking some time. Okay, let me open one more window. It's already open. Okay, it's open. Okay. Okay, so if you see the nature of this BAPI, okay, first of all, BAPI means, let me give you the description of BAPI. BAPI stands for Business Application Programming Interface. Okay, this is the meaning of this BAPI. So you see, BAPI also enabled. It's also enabled. It's also remote enabled function model only. Okay, so RFC enabled. So here also RFC enabled. So both BAPI and normal and RFC function model both have this same radio button has been enabled. But BAPI we can identify with BAPI only. So every BAPI function model will start with BAPI only, BAPI. If it's starting with BAPI means it's a BAPI. Apart from BAPI, then it is a different function model. It might be a normal function model or RFC enabled function model. By looking at the name, we can identify that what kind of function model it is, right? So in case of BAPI and RFC, both are RFC enabled function model. And coming to the next difference is that RFC enabled function model is a procedural concept. So this one will work based on the procedural way. Okay, and coming to BAPI, BAPI is whoops concept. That is, whoops means object oriented okay, it's object oriented. This is second difference. Okay, if it is an RFC enabled FM, then it's not a BAPI. So whenever we see RFC enabled in that function model means it's not a BAPI. The BAPI will always starts with BAPI only. If any other function models, if you see as an this enabled button, red button is there means that is not a BAPI. That's a normal remote enabled function model. Okay. So if it's a RFC enabled FM, then it's not a BAPI. It's a normal RFC FM only. but all BAPI are RFC enabled. If it's a BAPI means it's a must should be an RFC enabled. Okay, it starts with BAPI underscore. Okay, okay, it's not starts with BAPI. So yeah, like this. And moreover, the RFC function model won't represent the business functionality. It won't represent the business functionality. It will represent BAPI will represent the business functionality. Okay, I will tell you what does it mean. Okay, I will tell you what does it mean. Let me go to the system. There is a transaction code available. It's a BAPI. Open this BAPI. So BAPI is nothing but an RFC enabled function model, as well as it will represent one business functionality. Suppose now I have opened one BAPI, right? That is a BAPI underscore PO change. So it will represent one business functionality. So this BAPI PO change function model has the inbuilt logic or code written to do some changes to the existing POs. Like this, we have one more function model for order create, order change, delivery create, right? Like this, we have so many function models available to represent one business functionality. That's what I mean to say. But RFC enabled function model won't say that thing. It might be different purpose, but BAP means it's for a certain business functionality. Okay, as I said, BAPI works based on the OOPS concept. Okay, let me open one more transaction code SW. I think O1. Let me open this. Okay, so we all know that for a sales order creation, change, and display, the business object is that BUS bus 2032. So remember this object. This is for sales order program business object. Okay, if I display this object, you see the methods. You see here interface, attributes, methods, events. So we can see these options like interface, events, methods in OOPS concept only. In object oriented approach only, we see this interface, methods, events, right? That's why it's called OOPS approach. Okay, if I go to the method, okay, so here we have different methods are there, right? For example, if I click this method, you see sales order create. Yeah, I will go this one. So sales order create from data to description saying that sales order create. If I double click this one and the result type ABAP, you see here. Okay, method is okay. Object is bus 2032. Method is sales order create from data to. This is a method name. Okay, this method has this function model BAPI underscore sales order underscore create from data to. If I double click here, it will open one RFC enabled function model. You see, if I double click there, I came to the screen SE37. In the attributes, we can see it's a remote enabled function model and it's starting with BAPI, right? So this will represent one business functionality. So comparing to RFC enabled function model, this BAPI can be easily called from the other systems like Java, VB, or SAP or non-SAP. Okay, SAP system, or it might be non-SAP system. Anyone from outsiders can call these methods from this business object to access this particular function model. Okay, and if you see here, it's in one of the API. Remember that BAPI also called API. API means application programming interface. So BAPI acts as an interface as well as it's kind of an API. Remember this. So this way we can communicate with BAPIs and get our business functionality fulfilled, right? And same information we can see in the transaction code BAPI. Okay, let's me come to here, and here we need to click that sales and distribution. Yeah, here you can see sales and distribution. Click this arrow mark, click the sales and sales order. So here you can see the method create from data to. Click this arrow mark. So yeah, so if you double click and create from data to, you see the method create from data. This is the method name. This is what we see here. You see create from data to. Okay, and business object is sales order, and you see the function model. Okay, BAPI sales order created from dat 2. Similar way, if we want to change the order, here we have it, change from data. The method is change from data, business object is sales order, and you see the function model here, right? Like this, BAPI will give the specific business functionalities. Okay, so in upcoming classes session, I can discuss about APIs specifically. Okay, if you still have any doubts or concerns, means please do let me know in the comment section. We can discuss further. Bye for now. Thanks everyone.